When people build websites, they usually split them into two parts, the front end and the back end. The front end is everything you can see and click on in your browser, like buttons, text, pictures and menus. While the back end, on the other hand, is everything happening behind the scenes. It stores data, handles requests, and makes sure the website works properly. For example, on an online bookstore, the backend might save your account details, remember your order history, show you search results, and process your order when you buy a book. Let's say you search for a book and click place order. Your computer sends a message over the internet to the website server. Your computer is called the client in this case, and the server is the computer that receives and handles the request. This server does not just work by itself. We have to write code to tell it what to do. That code is usually written in a backend language like JavaScript with Node.js, Python, Java, or Ruby. But writing a server from scratch can be difficult, so developers use frameworks. A framework is a tool that makes it easier to build a backend. Some popular frameworks are Express.js for Node.js, Django for Python, Spring for Java, and Ruby on Rails for Ruby. We also use packages. Packages are small pieces of code written by other people that help us do common tasks, like connecting to a database or checking if a user is logged in. To install and manage those packages, we use package managers. For example, npm is used with JavaScript, pip with Python, bundler with Ruby, and Maven for Java. Next, we need somewhere to store data. That is where databases come in. Database is software that stores and organizes information. On an online bookstore, that could include user accounts, book details, prices, reviews, and order history. Some common databases are MySQL, PostgreSQL, and MongoDB. Now, let's go back to the bookstore example. When you click place order, the front end sends a request to the back end. The back end checks the request, saves the order in the database, and sends back a response saying the order was successful. This is called the request response cycle, and it is one of the most important ideas in web development. The backend follows rules for what requests it will accept. These rules are called an API, which stands for Application Programming Interface. For example, an API might allow post/orders to create a new order, get/orders to get order history, and delete/orders to cancel an order. A common way to design APIs is called REST. REST stands for Representational State Transfer. In REST, the types of requests has a special meaning. Post means create something. Get means get or read something. Put means update something, while delete means delete or remove something. So when we write post/orders, we mean create a new order. When we write get/orders, we mean get all orders. REST is the most common convention for APIs, but there are others like GraphQL and RPC. Now, let's talk about where the backend runs. Many companies do not buy their own computers anymore. Instead, they rent computers from cloud providers like AWS or Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure. This is called Infrastructure as a Service, or IaaS. The rented computers are called virtual machines, or VMs. These VMs are simulated computers running inside bigger physical machines in data centers. If a website gets very busy, one computer may not be enough, so companies can run many servers and use a load balancer to spread the traffic evenly across them. When traffic goes down, they can shut off extra VMs and only pay for what they need. If they want something easier to manage, they can use Platform as a Service, or PaaS. With PaaS, the cloud provider does most of the setup work for you, including the service and load balancer. Examples include AWS Elastic Beanstalk, Google App Engine, and Azure App Service. Another idea you may hear about is microservices. Instead of building one huge backend, a company can split it into smaller services. For example, one service might handle orders, another might handle payments, and another might send emails. Each service can run independently and even use different programming languages or databases. One could use JavaScript and MongoDB, while another Python and MySQL. This can make a large project easier to manage and scale. Sometimes companies do not build every feature themselves. For example, they might use a service like Twilio for sending emails or text messages. When a company gives other apps access to its service through an API, that is often called Software as a Service, or SaaS. As a website grows, it may need more tools. For example, AWS S3 can store images and files like book cover images. CloudFront can help images and pages load faster. Redis can store temporary data to improve speed. Elasticsearch can help with fast text search like searching books by title. RabbitMQ can help run tasks in the background later. Snowflake can be used for data analysis instead of using the main database. A beginner does not need all of these right away, as for most small projects you only need a backend server, a database, and maybe cloud hosting. As your project grows, you can add more tools when you need them. So in simple terms, the front end is what the user sees, the backend is what does the work, the database stores the data, and the API is how everything communicates. That is the basic idea behind backend development. Thanks for watching, and if this helped, hit subscribe for more content.